Hi, my name is Crystal Gons, and I'm so excited to be here today because Buck Gardens Pro staff asked me to tell the story of my Buffalo County buck. I'm going to start out by telling what happened all throughout the day. So in the morning, my fiance told me that I was going to go hunting no matter what. It was September 19th, the first Wednesday of bow season. I worked night shift, so I was really tired when I got home from work. But he was convinced that I had to go hunting. So all day he prepared my clothes, my broadheads, my arrows, my bow, everything. He got it all ready for me. Then at 4:30 he wakes me up and he's so excited. He's got to get me to go hunting. So he has everything loaded up on the four-wheeler. He takes me out to my tree stand and I climb up in there. I was convinced it wasn't the right day to go hunting. It was so windy outside. I thought the deer weren't going to come out, and I thought for sure if I did try to shoot one, my arrow was going to fly off somewhere. Well, I was sitting there, and I was texting him about how windy it was, but he told me that I had to have patience. So I continued sitting there, and I had every doubt in my mind that I wasn't going to see anything, and then I saw this little doe come over the hill. Well, that gave me some entertainment for a while. She came with a little fawn, and I was sitting on a CRP field, so the grass was swaying, and they were eating just about probably 20 yards from me. And it was really funny to watch him because she kept kicking him in the head because he would get too close to where she was going to eat, and then he would run off, and then he would come back, and she'd kick him in the head again. So when they came, I told my fiance, I texted him and said, well, there's a doe and a fawn here. And then he said, see, I told you. So I waited, and then they went off to the side of me, and I couldn't see them anymore from my tree. And then pretty soon, a little 8-point buck that we had named Hollywood came, and he danced around in front of our trail camera every single night, and we've got thousands of pictures of him. So that's why we call him Hollywood. Well, he was down there eating, and he was probably about 10 yards from me. He was pretty close. And so I texted my fiance again, and I said, well, Hollywood's here, and we know when Hollywood comes, he's usually with some more bucks. So before my fiance could text me back and say what was going to happen next, Brow-Tines shows up over the hill. And Brow-Tines is the buck that we have been watching for 3 years. He is ginormous. And we nicknamed him Brow-Tines because his Brow-Tines were huge every single year that we'd been watching him. The first year we'd been watching him, he had split Brow-Tines. The second year we watched him, he had like 10-inch Brow-Tines. And this last third year we watched him, his Brow-Tines were a little shorter, but they had mass. So he walked right over the hill to me. It couldn't have been any more picture perfect. He came in, he was about 11.5 yards from me, and at that point, Hollywood had moved a little bit more to the side of me, but he was still there. So I was kind of cautious because there was deer all around me, and I didn't know if they could smell me or see me. I knew the wind was blowing, but I didn't know really if I could even move. So at that point, when Brow-Tines was in front of me, I was shaking uncontrollably. I had no idea what to do. So I stood up slowly, hoping to God that my tree stand was not going to creak. I stand up and I take a deep breath, and my bow was hanging to the side of me, so I reach over, grab it, and then pull it in front of me oh so slowly. And I'm just hoping that doe and fawn behind me can't see me. And I'm watching Hollywood. And Brow-Tines is facing away from me, so I have my bow in my hand, and I'm standing there, and all I can do is think to myself, stop shaking. All I can do is think every little move I'm taking, I have to think to breathe, I have to think to grab the string, and then I pull back, and I had to think so hard to pull back because I knew that with buck fever, it's really hard to pull back your bow. No matter how strong you are, it sometimes takes more than one try. But I got it on one try. I was so lucky. I pull back, and then you'll have to wait till next week for the rest of the story.